Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Big story of the day seems to be Daniel Bryan, and if he is going to be returning to wrestle at Wrestlemania 34 with WWE. Feels like we're on the road to Wrestlemania 31 once again. We're on that road back. It seems like since Daniel Bryan went out after WrestleMania 31 and then basically retired right before WrestleMania 32. We've been counting down the days until Daniel Bryan leaving WWE when his contract is expired and wrestling for either New Japan, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, for Ring of Honor. There's lots of rumors out there. There's people that even wanted him to wrestle on the All In pay-per-view that's going to be going down with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. But it looks like his contract is not going to expire in time. It seems that with the storyline that went down on last Friday's, SmackDown isn't on Friday anymore, on last Tuesday's SmackDown with basically Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn teaming up to beat up Shane McMahon, even though Shane McMahon had announced that they're going to be fighting each other at WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan is going to be returning to Power on this week's edition of SmackDown, which takes place tonight, and basically have to figure out what is going on. Right before he was beaten up by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon said that he was having to step away from being in charge of SmackDown, which is going to leave Daniel Bryan in 100% control. To me, maybe it's going to come out that Shane McMahon knew that basically the only way that he can get another match with Kevin Owens, and this time with Sami Zayn, is if he did get provoked. Like he's not just going to be able to put himself in a match against these guys. But this feud has been going on ever since Kevin Owens headbutted Vince McMahon back before Hell in the Cell. And, you know, it's not going to end up. Basically, it looks like this is going to be a tag match, is what a lot of people are thinking is going to happen. And that's why a lot of people are wondering, you know, is Daniel Bryan finally going to be cleared by WWE? To me, I think it's going to have to twist WWE's arm a bunch, basically to the point where Daniel Bryan has put all of his cards out there on the table and basically has said, if you do not let me wrestle, and more than likely if you do not let me wrestle by WrestleMania, I'm going to be leaving WWE when my contract expires. There are those rumors a few months back that basically said that Daniel Bryan was in the plans to wrestle matches at SummerSlam. To me, that's a little bit weird. If you're going to have Daniel Bryan return to wrestling, why are you not having it happen at WrestleMania? I understand that WrestleMania is sort of like, it's going to be WrestleMania. It's always going to be the biggest pay-per-view of the year. Or maybe you don't need that special attraction. And maybe SummerSlam needs it. The same way that Undertaker came back and fought Brock for ending the streak and it not happening at WrestleMania, but he wanted to have that match at SummerSlam. It doesn't really make sense sometimes, but that's just the way it pans out, because you have to have that hook, you have to have that attraction, you have to have that main event. To me, the only way I see WWE letting Daniel Bryan come in and wrestle is if they realize that Daniel Bryan is serious. He is going to be leaving the company and going to wrestle on the independents or go to New Japan, basically not being involved with WWE anymore, which basically is going to put a huge black hole on two money-making venues for WWE, that being Total Bellas as well as Total Divas. Daniel Bryan is not one of the main characters of Total Divas, but he is one of the main characters of Total Bellas. You can remember on Total Divas that basically the time when Tyson Kidd was dealing with his injury before he returned back to work backstage at WWE, they treated Natalya almost as if she was single. They never talked about Tyson. They never showed Tyson. They would show Natalya at home, but it would always be with her dad and her mom, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and never really giving any question to where Tyson is. He just basically was cut out of everything. To me, having Brie as a part of both of those shows and not being able to have her talk about Daniel Bryan, not having to be able to show Daniel Bryan, is going to put a huge hole in that show. And I don't think that they're going to give in just for the E show, but I think that Daniel Bryan is a big part of WWE. He is somebody that, the fans really do rival around, and you can see that we're not going to let up. I mean, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years since he retired. It's been probably closer to 3 years since he wrestled his last match at the SmackDown after WrestleMania 31, when he was, I think he was kicked in the head by Sheamus is where it came down to. But I'm at the point where I really don't believe that Daniel Bryan is going to wrestle for WWE. I think that he is going to have to leave. He is going to have to go somewhere else. Maybe they can work out a deal where maybe he's still on Total Divas and Total Bellas, but not a part of WWE. Maybe a deal like that can be worked out. But I want to see it. I really, really do. I hope you guys get that part. I just don't really see that coming out of this.